So what's going on, people? I'm known as Mopar Josh, NY Mopar Josh, on social media. Went out to dinner a couple weeks ago with some family, and never met him before, so it's really cool. And I get to talking, and one of the guys on there has a YouTube channel. His link will be in the description below. You can check him out, see if what he talks about is what you're into. But he told me I had a knack for teaching people, showing people how to do hot rod shit, showing people how to do general repair work, you know, whatever, tips and tricks of the trade. A little bit about me. I've been a technician for 17 years. I started really young. I actually got my first job. I lied about my age. I was 13 years old. I was working in the shop changing headlight bulbs, sweeping up brake shit, gritty, nasty shit that nobody ever wanted to do in a shop. So I did it. It paid. So today I'm working on a 1955 Ford Gasser project that me and my father-in-law decided was a good idea to do. I'll show you some video of the car. There'll be some before pictures thrown in there, some after, and where the car is sitting. It's a 55 Ford. It's got a 56 Ford tilt nose on it that I built myself, all steel. Nobody makes fiberglass shit for these cars anymore outside of Canada, and they're really fucking expensive once you pay customs. So today I'm pretty much going to be showing you guys the real rudimentary basic introduction on how to build yourself a hot rod floor in any chassis. This can be for the Model A guy, the Model T guy, guys in situations like mine, or guys that are trying to build something. So let's check it out. Okay, so here it is. This is the 1955 Ford Gasser. The floor is gone, and that's more importantly what this video is about, not so much what the car is. All right, so we have the trans just pretty much sitting, no mount, no nothing. So we're going to take all our measurements off of this, and we're going to add 3 inches to be safe, closer towards the bell housing. And once you come behind the servo cover on the transmission, it's going to drop down to about 2 inches of clearance. Once you hit the tail shaft, about 1 inch of clearance, and so on and so forth. One for safety, we're going to be making the driver's side of the trans tunnel just a little bit thicker gauge steel. The floor is probably going to be 16 or 18 gauge, somewhere around there. But this is bare bones. There's nothing here. We have a solid frame to work with. The inner rocker panel on that side is fairly strong. A little bit of cancer over there in the back end. But this was a big project. Thought it was a good idea at the time, and now there's just a lot of fucking money into a car that's nowhere near done. So I'm going to get some stuff mocked up, and we'll be back. Okay, so we're back, and I've got my ribs for the passenger side pretty much mocked up where I want them. Again, I am not a purist. I believe stock cars are boring. That's my mindset on hot rods. Now, I'm not doing this to any book. I'm not doing this to any one particular style. I thought straight front axle cars were cool as shit. I thought tilt nose on cars was cool as shit. I always like that round bar as a front bumper on a Chevy. You know, I love American cars. That's my thing. You know, whether it be American cars or import cars, whatever it is you like. Whether you're trying to stuff a LS into a Miata, or you're trying to stuff a 5-liter into a Miata, or you're trying to put an LS inside a Fox Body Mustang. I may not always agree with it, but putting the time in, doing something cool, it's pretty dope. You could always be doing shit that's worse. That's what people need to understand. Cars are not the worst. So, here we go. The front forward inner body mount. That's a mouthful. Half of it's still there, the other half of it's gone. So that's what I'm going to do. I like symmetry. If I can't make it original, at least I make them match. So that mount from starting right around here is all chewed up. We cut it off already. I tried leaving the best metal we could. So what my plan is now, is I'm going to clean it up just a little bit more with a Sawzall blade or a grinder. I'm going to cut the other side so that it matches, and then I'll just plate across that to the actual toe board. They do make available floors. I know this. I don't want to spend the money to buy a floor when I can make it. I have 2 hands. I have skill. Why not? The money that I could spend in that, I can dump into the motor. I love horsepower. It excites me. Place on rubber. Yeah, I wrote that just so it's a remembrance to keep a gap. Alright? Some people will tell you, fuck that shit, I'm just going to stuff it on a rail. That's fine. But it's better if it's on rubber. It absorbs some vibration, and if you're making a lot of hell of a horsepower, or if you're racing the car, it's not going to chew the chassis apart and eat it to, nothing. As you can see, this is not a mint specimen. This is a restoration. The body was great, and when it's daytime, I'll take some video of it. The steel tilt nose that I built is great metal, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, I can't believe you did it," but that's what was available. So I have all the original body supports cut out of this channel here. As you can see, there's some right there, and some right there. There's one in the back, which is still pretty good, and one in the front, which is still pretty good. And on this side, it's the same thing. This front one seems to be really good, and that one back under there seems to be really good. So we have to build in between. How are we doing it? We're using 3x3 right angle steel in between the front mount and the rear mount. Hammered, I mean, it's cut slightly oversized so that you got to really hammer that into those two corners. Now you can see how distorted this body actually is. This is a brand new piece of straight steel. Now you can see where it's actually messed up. So, Ford built body mount points, I think they're fine. I don't see a point in trying to change them. The only thing we're doing, because of the damage of this floor, plus the fact that we do actually plan on taking this down the drag strip, is I'm adding a piece here. Now this piece here will go in front of the factory mount and tie into the rest of the skeleton. So once we're done, and all this stuff gets all welded in nice, and I weld back on the perch that accidentally got cut off, and we put our rubber on all our hardware, you're going to see all the bolts. And when I lay the floor down, you're still going to see all the bolts. Still be able to pull this body off if you had wanted to. But to give you an idea, it'll have a piece of metal, like so, welded on there. It'll run all the way back. I gotta correct the cut on this one. To there. Then, that's going to give me something to weld my floor to. When it comes to welding the metal, I'll show you guys step by step how we're going to do that. Today is pretty much just about the angle iron, the crossbar supports, and the body mounts to the original frame and how I plan on doing it. Feel free to leave comments and questions below, and if you're going to be negative, don't even bother commenting. I'm just going to delete you and block you. So that's that. Alright people, so I've done all of my measurements, got everything pretty much squared away the way it needs to be. I got all my poles into position. If you attempt to do this, you're going to need some basic skills. Welding, know how to use a tape measure, and the ability to read. Now, I'm not trying to make fun of anyone, but without being able to read and understanding your welder, it's going to be quite difficult. So, I have pretty much a clamp on almost every single brace that will be going across, as well as a brace holding the 90° to reshape the bent rocker panel. The back's all hammered and squared away nicely. And then again, everything has a clamp on it where it needs to be. Some clamps need to be more aggressive to bend the metal back. Other clamps can just be a simple Harbor Freight style squeeze clamp. You can pick either one up at any Lowe's, Home Depot, Harbor Freight, Tractor Supply. Same thing with almost all the materials that I'm using. Everything's local at your Tractor Supply and or Home Depot or Lowe's. Whatever you have out there. Safety always first when you're going to be welding. Make sure you have a good pair of welding gloves. Some guys say forget it. This is coming from a guy who's lost most of the skin on the top of their hand while welding. It's not fun when you're the one that's on fire. So always remember safety first, a good welding helmet. You don't have to have the apron, you don't have to have the jacket. It's a recommendation. I have them, but again, just keep in mind safest steps first. So I will be back once I have all of this tacked into place and pretty much welded up where I'm going to want it to be. And I'll show you what the final images of it look like.